Hi, and how are you doing? I hope everyone's doing okay. And I just realized my light's not on. Let me take the music down to about 15%. Oh, I keep forgetting this light sometimes, especially when I'm doing a lot of programming. Righty. So, as you can probably see, we got quite a bit into it. This is actually the same stuff we did the other day. The difference being that it now automatically, it now automatically loads the texture information. How did I do that? Well, I got fucking tired of trying to get that damn, DXT decompressor working. So you know what I did? I ripped it out and put in Squished. First time, I put it in, got all the code, looking right, compiled, and the first thing that happened, it freaking worked. First try. So, if we load in here, you can see these are all, loaded. These are, what it came loaded as. Now, I have since, so I got that working, and I am very happy. So we have 80, BLPs completely working. Here's the grass, and I just applied that to the landscape. Oh, I'm in the way. Sorry. Yeah, so we got BLPs to load, and it works perfectly. It is just fantastic. I am so freaking happy. I did make one other change. Let me load up the BLPs. I came in here, went from dependencies DXT decompressor to libsquish. And I gotta say, Squish does good jobs. Alright, so somewhere in here... this is where we made our big change. I created a new data type called, image type. Defaulted it to the 32-bit that we did before. And then I looked for formats, DTX or, paletted, that had no alphas. And if I found that, I changed it over to a 24-bit. So if it doesn't have an alpha, we don't need to be 32-bit. That's less memory for us to work with in Lightwave. So I then came down here, found multiplier, created multiplier. If image type equals 24, multiplier is 3. Otherwise, it's 4. So that, creates the temp larger than life. The multiplier comes down here to multiply by x. And if the image type is 32-bit, then we add the final section. So all of this combined means that 24-bit images will load without an alpha. You can see here the alpha channel is actually disabled. I can't click on it. But if I come in here and say choose Blood Elf Hair, you'll see this has the alpha channel enabled. It's 32-bit because if we come in here and look, there is a little bit of an alpha down here at the bottom. That's for hair to be cut off at certain spots. So it now works completely and wonderfully. We got 32-bit hair and 24-bit, other textures. Now, because I was able to get that going, and I was able to get it going that it now detects the directory correctly. So it's no longer, oh, we can't find this. It goes, no, I'm looking for the content directory plus /images. So long as you use /images, you should be fine. And it'll just load all them up, and it's much easier. Landscape, still having trouble assigning normal vector maps. I can't figure it out. Surfaces doesn't have, it's basically, to assign a normal map, you need to assign a string. But there is no assigned or set string for surfaces. There's ints, but it doesn't seem to want to do that. So, I'm still trying to look at that. And if we go in here to the texture, you can see it's just the silver pine grass. And this is something I manually did. I mean, when it comes in, it looks like... well, actually, it looks more like that. Like how we saw it the other days. What I do is I just add a new texture, planar. I choose the texture I want to use. Texture axis that, Y. So it's coming straight down. And then I just set all the scale to 25. Why 25? Because it looks close to accurate. I don't have the exact data yet. So I won't be able to get that work. I won't be able to get that perfect until I do a little bit more investigation. So that wasn't all I've done. Let me clear the scene. And let's go back into WMOs. Go to Azeroth Buildings, Altar of Storms. And you'll notice a new little window pops up here. You can load doodad models. Well, no, you can't. It doesn't work yet. Or you can import collision geometry. Now, originally, collision geometry imported all the time. It didn't matter if you wanted it or not. It imported. And when I was doing testing today, I found out that it actually causes a problem in Lightwave. So, by default, it doesn't import. This will give you the visually best thing. It also gives you lower polygon counts. If you're trying to export this for a game, you can import it with collision and be able to work with it from there. So, as you can see, it now imports perfectly, fully, and with textures and everything. It took a lot of work last night and a little bit of today to get it that it comes in here, assigns it to the UV, and then UV map. Having it select this was the freaking hardest part of the whole damn thing. According to the documentation, you're supposed to, it's supposed to reference a void pointer that goes off into this way, and you're supposed to grab it from this data and that data. Well, you can't get this data or that data until the thing's built. So I'd have to figure out a way of doing it afterwards. Fortunately, there is a little function that asks for the current vector map. And it says, hey, look what I found. Current vector map. I'm going to give you a pointer to it. So, immediately after the UVs have been set, I set the UV map to the current vector map, and it works. And as you can see, it loads up the textures just fine. And all of these are just perfect. And we come through here, you can see, these are all of the textures. And there's quite a few of them, and they're all 24-bit, so that's nice. And I just realized I'm in the way again. So yeah, all 24-bit. No alpha channels. Which means we come in here. Also, when I was importing this, I thought, oh, that's not bad. And then I tried importing another model, and I realized everything was flipped. So, I had to fix that. Now, it's importing just fine. Also, the UVs were flipped. I had to do that. But, if we render this, oh, that's not bad. But we can make it better. How? Well, let's turn on a backdrop. And now, let's add some radiosity. We'll only do one for right now. But, already, this looks way better. This camera view is too small. Let's increase the horizontal field of view to 90 degrees. That looks a little bit more game-like. And now I can do shots like this if I want. Da-da, da-da-da-da. But yeah, we could just import this directly and it works perfectly. Let's change up the light so it looks a little better. I like it. In case you're wondering what I did, I use a plugin type light of DP Infinite. It just makes this look better, I think. And you can set the angle for the shadows. I mean, if I set it to 5, you'll see that the shadows get really blurry all of a sudden. I better increase the lights and shading. But you can see, they get blurry really quickly. If I set it to 1, which is the default, it doesn't blur out very quickly. This is actually probably more accurate, but I found that, for my personal tastes, an angle of 2.5 is relatively good. So let me adjust the lighting. There. Now one of the statues is casting a shadow on this guy. Now there's still a lot of things you can do for this. You can, but now that we can import this directly, that's all we need. Now unfortunately, I just added an LWO. I don't know why, but if I tried loading this again, in fact, let's just try loading that again, it causes a crash. I have not been able to figure out what's causing it or how to fix it. So, that's something we might want to look into tonight. But, let me do this for you. Now, Altar of Storms, there's just one model thing. I mean, that's it. It could be worse. It could be better. So let's find something that has a few more polygons in it. Like the Goldshire Inn. Don't import geometry. And this is actually where the collision geometry first showed its ugly head for me. Now you'll notice it's taking a while. That's because it's trying to load all the image files. But this is also where we're running into a new problem with the image files. And this is a problem that's specific to Lightwave. It has nothing to do with WoW. But you'll see it as soon as I render. Just waiting for it to finish. Ah, there we go. As you can see, Goldshire Inn, which is basically the generic human inn. Alright, so let's scale down. Are we still in a... No, we are not. Gotta change the field of view again. There we go. They're a little tall. So, here's the inn. We're not going to get any light in here because of the shadows. There's no light. It's all on the outside. So let's add a light in here. This will give us... Now, this looks really good. This looks like what they have in game, or close to it. Well, here's where we're going to first run into the problem. What the hell's up with these boards? Why are some of these textures so crappy all of a sudden? Well, there's a reason for that. If we come in here, we can see, okay, 24-bit, 24, 24, 24, 24, a lot of 24 bits. Whoa. 32-bit. Why is this trim 32-bit? What's on the alpha channel? On the alpha channel is the specular map. So all of a sudden, we have a new challenge for importing. We actually have to, for WMOs at least, we need to make it that textures, if they have an alpha, we need to figure out if that's for, actually, I can't think of a WMO that uses their alpha for transparency. At least we can, there might be flags somewhere that lets us know that. So, in Lightwave at least, the way we can solve this is going instance. So we've just made an instance of that particular image. We disable the color on that. Or we can, yeah. This is the slightly longer method. So let's actually create another instance. Instance 2 will be only the alpha. So we now have our source image, our, just the color, and then the black and white image. I'll now take that off to the side. So this is for trim 01. I have no idea why they chose green. That's the default. Maybe there's a significance to that. But let's open up the textures. Okay. Here it is, and it's using the default trim. Well, yeah. The Stormwind trim 01. That's up here. Well, the way Lightwave works is that it sees it and all the colors and tries to mask that. I don't really, as far as I know, there's not a way to stop it from doing that here. We could try. But, basically we just need to change this to the one without an alpha channel. And you can see this just, picked up. It looks fine now where all these green things were. But we're not done. Let's go to the specular channel. Actually, let's come up here. Copy that. Paste that into the specular channel, and then set it to our alpha only. So now, this actually has specular highlights. If we can find some to react to it. Huh. Alright, let's take a quick look. Alright. That should create something. Seriously? You guys are gonna be bitches like this? Nope. Okay, I have no idea why it's doing that. Okay, I just set the specularity up to 100%. So that's what it should, well, it shouldn't look like that. I mean, we could actually make it look more like, there. Nice and simple. Take it down to 0. Or up it, I don't know. Let's just set it to the color then. Okay, so it looks way better with the color, but this is probably more accurate. I don't know why they chose to do this for the trim. I mean, that's just silly to me. You're not even getting any real benefit from it. I'm not seeing anything. Well, let's do this. I'm going to paste the color into the bump map channel. And increase it to a factor of 5. Now we should see some more specular highlights. Nope, not really. But at any rate, this gives you a good idea of how quickly you can, take the base model that gets imported and get it to looking good. Now, as you can see, there's a lot more that we got to do here. So that's something we might want to look into doing, is automating that alpha channels stuff. Now, what we'll probably end up doing, rather than doing the two of them, is just have the one without alpha channel. So we'll have that one, and then we'll have one with it disabled. Or we might just come in here and go disabled. So on all WMOs, we just come in here and say, nope, disabled. And you notice, you know, a lot of the images just got better. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Also noticing that there's some problems with... Yeah. So these polygons never connect? Interesting. Now granted, this is the one from Burning Crusade. They might fix that. They might have fixed that since then. But yeah, this is Burning Crusade assets. So the fact that we can import this almost directly with no problems is a minor miracle. Alright, let's close Lightwave and open it back up. Why are we doing this? Because there's something I've been wanting to do, but we haven't done that. But I haven't done it at all. Why? Because I wanted my first time to be with you guys. We are going to load a new building. Stormwind. Look at this. Stormwind has 135 sub-objects. I have not even attempted this yet. So, let's see what happens. We might run into a problem, we might not. It may work perfectly. In which case, we will take a quick perusal around the place. For those wondering, the WMO problem with trying to load a second one, I went looking into it, and it says it has something to do with the log system, which makes no sense. It should be okay, but it's something to look into. It gives us a direction, at least. Ooh, Mountains of Thunder. I'm going to turn up the music for a bit. This is okay music. Let's go somewhere else. Ooh. Teldrassil. Ambient music for the Night Elves. I'm just really happy that we got so far into this. Now, again, I should preface everything by saying that right now we're working with 2.0 data. That means if you were to load up the first version of the Burning Crusade, this is the data that we're using. Why am I using 2.0? For a various number of reasons. It's not the first version. It's not the most recent version. But it's early enough that I can... I have to use a lot of the older technologies and make sure that the older ones work, but it's still, mature enough that, everything works. Well, I can make sure that everything works. After we've, finished building all the plugins, well, actually, no, not after I finish, but after I get each section to a point where I'm happy, then we will go to another version. So right now we're testing out 2.0. In a little bit, once we're happy with the way 2.0 is working, in terms of data gathering, and that we have all the information we need, then we go back to 1.0 or 1.12 or somewhere therein. The data never really changes in each expansion. So in a single expansion, you're not going to see like 5 different versions of the same file. They didn't do that. They only changed the file format in between each expansion. So any file format changes between 1 and 2 will happen in 2. Any changes between 2 and 3 will happen in 3. Any changes, and so on and so forth. I've been reading up, and it looks like they're adding some more data for Legion. So, we're not going to worry about that until it's actually out. Why am I making it multi-compatible like this? Well, because I don't know what version you're going to want. I mean, the building the world from version 1.0, the very first version of World of Warcraft, that would be fun. I would love to recreate that universe in 3D and just do a flyover of the whole damn thing. Granted, that's going to take a shit ton of memory, so we're going to have to learn about instancing. But the good news is I'm actually building the plugins so that they can do nulls. If you don't know what a null is, it's basically a virtual point in space. I can say, okay, right here, I want a null. Oh, we're loading about 360-ish? Because we're loading Stormwind. In fact, let me actually take a quick look again. Alright, so Stormwind, WMOs, Azeroth, Buildings, Stormwind. So this, I selected that file, but it's going to load all these, all 305 files. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the file formats themselves are only 40.3. Let me check and see how much memory is being used. I'm at 6.12. I'm hovering around 6.12 gigs of RAM usage. I've got a total of 8. But, you know, about half that is just all the normal programs I'm running, plus probably add probably another gigabyte for OBS and everything. And the chats. In fact, what processes are taking the most memory? Java. This has nothing to do with Java. Java, you know, I think that's my media server. That's using almost 900 megs of RAM. OBS is using about it's only using about half a gig. Right now, Lightwave is hovering at about 310 megs. So not a whole lot of memory being used, even though we're loading all this data. Lightwave is going up very slowly though. Now, the thing I'm not entirely sure about is... I'm going to take the music back down. I don't know if what we're doing right now is threaded. Okay. Yeah, Lightwave window is out of date because... So, obviously... it's taking up some memory. It doesn't have any to refresh. Actually, now that I think about it, what's my CPU usage? Oh, 4 out of my 8 cores is well, my 4 cores are doing about 50%. First core's, bouncing like a needle on during an earthquake. But my threads are virtually non-existent in terms of in terms of power usage or CPU usage, and cores 2, 3, and 4 are about 50%. All told, it's about it's peaking at about 34% of my CPU usage right now. So that's not bad. layout's using about 12% of, and OBS is using also about 12% of my CPU usage. I don't know. I've actually had this load once or twice on me. Different applications, but it definitely does it. This is just a lot of data it's having to go through. I mean, it goes through each WMO file, which is, yeah. I mean, it's literally going, point by point on each WMO file. And they seem to be about, they're hovering at about 14 kilobytes each. Oh. The early ones were. Here's a couple that I just came across, a couple that are like 144 kilobytes. At any rate, it's a total of about, what did I say, 40 megs? Yeah, it's about 40.3 megabytes of information it has to process. And then, not only does it have to process that, it then has to convert it into a similar object for Lightwave itself. So this is a big process, and when it's done, I will be saving the object. Because that is pretty much the only way I'm going to be able to work with it afterwards. I do not want to have to spend all the time reloading this. You saw how long it took with, well, you might not have seen it, but it took quite a long time for the end to load. I probably should have had this loaded up and ready to go when we first started, but at any rate, while this is going, we're going to do a little bit of other work. So, I'm in here on the ADT file format, which is the landscape. And this is the older liquid chunk. As you can see, it was depreciated with Wrath of the Lich King, which means it's used in our 2.0 chunk that we're using. But we still need to figure it out so that 2.0 can actually have liquid built with their ADT files. So, split files root, liquid levels for this map chunk. Yeah. Alright. Information is old and incomplete, and as well as may be wrong. Alright. The first two floats specify the minimum and maximum liquid heights. After them comes a 9x9 height map for the water with the following format per vertex. So some sort of flag, or well, it has 2 bytes, and then a float. It might be color or transparency info, or something completely different. They are most frequently 0. Followed by an 8x8 bytes of flags for every liquid tile between the vertex grid. Oh. Value of that means don't render. Ooh, Serpent Riders. Good music. So this is something we basically have to figure out. How are you doing, Lightwave? Okay. Still not doing much. Okay. So that's the BLP. Let's come back over here. So as you can see over here, this is the H2O chunk. This is what replaced the MC Liquid file. And it goes, oh, for all this, we go that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Well, here, we actually have to do it a little differently. I mean, it's the same type of information, but in fact, we can just, see a lot of it, but there's no header information. There's a lot of other stuff, so, let's start going through this. All right, so we are working on a importer plugin for Lightwave 3D, in which will load World of Warcraft files. We have successfully gotten it to load quite a number of files, actually. It loads ADT files, it loads WMO files. WMOs are, close to complete. We have a little bit of texture work left to do with them, but they're otherwise ready to go. And then there will be the doodads, but we'll do that after we get M2 file format. The M2's going. I want to get the liquid chunk ready to go on the ADTs, and then I want to figure out how to get the materials to work correctly on ADTs. Then we'll probably dig into to the M2 format, which means we'll finally be able to get models to automatically import. The other thing to figure out is how to get WMOs to import into our ADT files. I know it's a lot of weird words, but we're working on this. Okay, so... Alright, I shrunk it, and now it's off in a different section. Here we go. Alright, so... Alright, so first two floats. Okay, so we need float lick min equals 0. Equals lick max equals 0. I can't do that. Okay. So f read at lick min size of float 1 file. Min max. Actually, H min max. I don't know why we need these, but let's just have them just in case. Okay, so next, let's see. After them comes a 9x9 height map. Okay. So, let's come over here. Struct MQ MCQ liquid. Vertex. So we're doing this because it's easier. So int 16 unknown 1 unknown 2 float height. Now let's do height. Okay, so 9x9, huh? I wonder if the height is offset by the min-max. Landscapes for the chunks are. Okay, so for I equals 0, I is less than 9 times 9. Well, times 9. I plus plus. and int. I mean, it's 81. Okay, so we want vector MQ vertex height val. No. Actually, yeah. MQ vertex A. F read at A. Size of MC liquid vert count 1 stream file. Ah, the boring stuff. If A, because we don't want it to push anything back if it, you know. Actually, no, let's just push it back anyways. Height val, push back A. So we're not even going to bother with anything. Okay, so you know, how am I doing this out here? All right. MCLQ chunk equals Vector MCLQ vertex height values float liquid height min and liquid height max. All right, so MCQLQ data all right, so let's come back in here. Oh, we're in map chunk. Okay. So this actually needs to not be in here, but instead be in the chunk. Do we need to make this a vector? No, because there's only one per chunk as far as I know. Okay, so MQ, MCQ. Ah, data. Height min. I don't know why it's so touchy. All right. So now we come back here. All right, so vector int flags. Okay, so int a f read at a size of int. Now, see, I could probably do this a little bit easier if I did a pointer system. But I'm fine with this. Let's check on Lightwave. Not yet. Okay. All right. MCQL, LQ, data, flags, push back, A. All right, that should read all the chunk. Now you'll notice that in this, H2 one, we don't have any height data read. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what all this is doing either, but we're giving this a shot. Okay, so here we are. Build map chunk. Determine hole locations. Should we put in some flags in here? Huh. You know, maybe I should put these in with defines. Granted, I really only need them here. We'll figure out flags later. If we need to, we'll, you know, add them. All right. Building point data. Alright, so somewhere in here I actually did put something like water type. Yep, int water type. If water type now let's do this. If MC liquid data height values size is greater than 0, all right, so let's start by yeah, let's do that. Good morning, Pink Hair. How are you doing? All right. Lightwave's still going. So hopefully... Oh. It says Lightwave's not responding anymore. I'm just gonna let it go. Actually pretty well. We got WMOs to import almost perfectly. There's still the texture problems with 32-bit textures, but that's Lightwave. Let's see. ADT files are all going. Oh yeah, I fixed the BLP importer. Finally. Yeah, well, Lightwave has crappy SDKs. I mean, that's really what it is. It would be easier for me to write a program to write the Lightwave file directly than it would be for me to write something to import into Lightwave as a loading option. Alright, so... for I equal 4. As it stands, I'm thinking of actually converting Project Stormwind into something for Maya. course, if I did that, I'd probably make it closer to a script than a plugin. But I really want to just keep going with this. I mean, I've got most of the code ready. I would have to just convert it over to, you know, Maya's specific functionality. Actually, let's do X and Y here. Since it is 9 by 9. Yeah. Okay. So, 9 by 9. This is each height data. I hope I'm doing this right. Horizontal, then vertical. Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, I'm renaming these again! Yeah, doing the size T, that lets it go, you know. Even though that's a very limited thing, at least I can do it in 64-bit a little bit. I've never really used Nougat. I've always been more interested in pulling it out into a 3D software than I have trying to edit or make new ones. Apparently I'm alone in that. Or alone enough. Okay, so... Neat. Getting the height data. So, HP. Yeah, I'm fine with copying this. My own work. Huh. If height point or height point equals F, wonder why that. Yeah. I'm not willing to do that. I'm willing to actually create a software so other people can do it. And then, you know, they can do it themselves. I'm not going to share my work. I spent a lot of time on that. At least that's my view. Plus, you know, if they do it themselves, there's a little less legality issues. And, yeah, the last thing you want is Blizzard coming after you. Alright, so if... Ah, that was the thing. 0.0. Else. Point used later? Yeah, it's used later there. But it's reset, so if I reset it, it wouldn't be an issue. On the other hand, this probably wouldn't be too big of a problem. Alright, so size T. Point equals hors times 9 plus vert. Alright, so HP equals okay, so v dot x equals vert time unit size. Y and Z equals negative horizontal times 0.05, 0.5. I honestly don't remember why I did that. Equals HP. We'll just do that just in case. Okay. So, I'm at a point where I actually need to use Lightwave, and it's not going to work. So, oh well. We tried. Cancel that. Yep, there we go. Good. Lots of warnings. The way we like it. Alright, so there's Goldshire. Let's go back to maps. Azeroth and 3030, which is one of the greatest, testing maps I can think of. It's got liquids, it's got, got objects, it's got all sorts of stuff. This looks a little Tronish. Alright, so save current object as that. Let's take a look. There are 28. There are 28 polygon points. All right there. That do not match. They are missing. I know we have more liquids than that, though. As you can see, a lot of 2-point polys. If I come in here and merge them, that solves a bunch of problems. Still got some 2 points. The fact that this, showed up at all is, minor miracle. As you can see, that those border issues went away, and we don't have the normal map supplied. So if I were to apply the normal map, it would fix it slightly further. Okay, so obviously there's something going wrong here. Let's check the debug file. Writing points. It didn't even get to our liquid points. So our height value is stuck at here, so it's not doing anything. It's not reading the data. Or did I put that at the wrong spot? Could it be that I did that at the wrong point? Oh, build chunk. Alright, let's do a quick look for MCQLQ. Seriously, you cannot find it? Yeah, see, it should be getting this somewhere. Because if we, one second. All right, so this is the Azeroth 3030 ADT. Now, if I do a look for MQL, it's going to fail because what it really needs to look for is QLCM. And look, we found one. Another. And another. There should be several in here. So, MCLQ. But I can't find it. Apparently, it doesn't read it. Huh? Alright, finds that. Read heights. Oh. Okay. See, it has build map chunk, so it builds the data before we get to the liquid chunk, so this is never going to be ran because it's not necessary. So what we need to do is void map chunk build liquid mesh build MCLU. That should solve that. Okay, so map chunk, point data. There we go. So now, if we come up here, read MCLU, build MCLQ. Granted, we still have the issue of, you know, it not finding the chunk, but let's just copy this and paste it here just in case. MCLQ. Just in case there is some change there. Close that, because that's going to cause a problem. So I will guess I'm going to work on Stormwind in between streams. Yeah, it still includes that. I thought I got rid of those, huh? Alright, let's load this up in Modeler. Still 28. Should be more than that. Alright, let's see what's going on over here. MC liquid. Nope. This is getting frustrating. Why is it not finding the liquid chunk? Oh, map chunk and knit. So go through the chunks, read the point data. Oh, they can be considered unused and thus being deleted. But that wouldn't stop the liquid chunk from being displayed when we scan it. So Alright, so it's mysteriously gone. This is very disturbing. Actually, let's take a look at something. I'm slightly curious about this. Are we... Objects, source. Let's go 2 point. Actually, let's try it in here. Or go back a version. Now, this should give us the same information. There wasn't much of a change between the two. And all right, so there's just something wrong with our script, I guess. Let's take another quick look over here. Where are we? MCLQ. What do split files mean? Okay, so at any rate, CLV. Alright, MCLY. Those files are actually found. This is actually a chunk we find. I mean, here it is. It's found, and that actually says processing. Which is actually useful for when we're doing textures work. So that'll be helpful. But if we come in here, else if... There. Now we have two of them, so there's no way it's getting away from us now. Alright, so... Stop. Build. Don't need that. Yes, I don't think we do. Did I have 3DF or... Nope. Ah. Forgot about that. Okay. I was wondering what was going on with that. Alright. Back to 2.0. And all this is actually 2.0 as well. Nope, no changes. If there were changes, this file would have gotten longer. It didn't. So somehow... it's not finding H2O either. So I don't know how, but it is completely and utterly bypassing the fact that there's a MQL chunk in here. And just for good measure, I'm going to be a bastard and do this. We're going to look in the root. Maybe that's where it is. Ah, the Siege of Woods. All right, close. And search. Nope. Where does water type get set? Seeing it set, I'm just seeing. I don't don't know, maybe it's being set in one of the hidden functions. Not that there's a whole lot of those. More of it. Water type equals -1. It was up here somewhere. Ah, here we are. At any rate, let's get rid of that. Alright, we'll come up here now to set the same thing. Make sure it's... Yep. Yeah, let's just do one of these. So why'd we do one of those? Because it has liquids. You can be guaranteed that. MCLQ. I am reading the right file, right? Yeah, I am. All right, I'm kind of at a loss as what's going on here. We got some great functions going on, but they're not doing a damn thing. Because apparently, it's not even seeing it. Flip. Good. That's all right. Huh. Why is it not seeing it? String 4 equals 0. This is frustrating. I have no idea why this is not working. Let's take a look at that first file. Edit with Notepad. So this is the one we just tried. Yeah, it found an MCQL. It should find a lot of them. And it is. MCAL? MCAL? So what's MCAL? Alpha maps for additional texture layers. This is actually something we're going to have to dig into. Because this is how we mask all the layers that we use. Oh, what the hell? Just running my hand through the hair or something. The really tough part is that every layer is, per chunk. So that's, a hard one to fight. I don't need that open anymore. That can be gone. I'm going to need that, and we're going to need that. All right. So, we've confirmed that these are in here. What about MCALs? Do I have an MCAL? Offset and MCAL. Find all in current document. A lot of offsets. But it doesn't actually find MCAL. Interesting. So, something's up with MCAL? At least in this one. In 30, it's just fine. Let's do a build just to be safe. Okay, we're up to date. Oh, sorry guys. Apparently my chat log wasn't scrolled down. All right. Actually, I don't know what it was. Pink hair. Hello, 18-wheelers. Sorry I didn't respond. What we're programming is something I call Project Stormwind. Basically, it's a way of loading files from World of Warcraft directly into a 3D program called Lightwave. Yeah. The hell? There we go. As you can see, it seems to be working pretty well. But right now we're trying to get more data. Specifically, okay, MCal. We've got MCal, and then it says it finished. That's chunk 4, so somewhere in here. Maybe we're having a problem with MCal. I wonder if I commented that out, would it work? So we're going to comment out MCal, but leave that in. All right. Oh. I was like, wait, why is it still showing MCal? That's because I haven't loaded anything. All right. Reload. Scrolling through it. No, I'm not seeing it. Whoa, what's this? Determining hold locations. Nope, still not finding it. Okay, so what if we just ended it there? I mean, we don't need sound emitters. Finish map chunk. And let's come back in here. It could be this. If it is, we'll find out shortly. I'll comment that out and see what happens. I'll just comment out the whole section. Good morning, Console Purgatory. That is true. That's why I didn't delete it. We might add that as a future option at some point. Okay, let's come in here, take a quick look. I'm not seeing anything. Doesn't look like anything in there. Actually, I'm having trouble just getting it to add nulls. Got a ways to go for that. Alrighty. Actually having quite a bit of luck, console. I've got the BLPs all working. They're like 115% awesome. You saw me just load this up. Had absolutely no texture import errors because, hey, look, BLPs. And they're all working perfectly. All right. Yeah, we probably are the only Lightwave users who will ever use this. Yeah, I fixed it by dropping DTX compression and going with libsquid. Or that other one, or whatever one we were talking about possibly using. I went with that, dropped it in. First test, it fucking worked. I was so happy. Alright, so since this didn't work, let's comment out everything. Don't need vertex. We're going to keep the vertexes, and that's it. So it's vertexes and liquids. That's it. All the other data can just go fly off a cliff or something. Alright, if I ever talk about making a game, I'm almost always going to be using Unreal Engine. That's new. Vector subscript out of range. Let's see what the script says. Still not finding MQ data. But let's see what broke. Build tile. Ah, okay. Let's do this then. Size is greater than 0. Yeah, that's kind of my thought with Unreal. Yes, I want to stop debugging. Close. It's just, you know, much easier to use, and with Unreal 4, it just got like way better. All right. Okay, so are we doing something crazy up higher? Fread string, fread size, bytes, flip, next position equals that plus that. Let's read the heights, and then that's it. Maybe it's something in here that's causing a problem. Yeah. Importing terrain is tricky with Unreal Engine. If you're just building it brand new, you're fine. You can, build it basically however you want. Okay, so we're not building anything. It found that and then it stopped. So since it's not building anything now, why is it still not reading it? Alright, so now the only thing it's going to read is if MCQL chunk. But I have a feeling it's not going to. I think somewhere in there the size is off. Alright, so... Okay then. It is officially pissing me off. Alright, so let's take another look at this file. No. Open with this. So why am I opening with this program? Because I have a plugin, Hex Editor. View in Hex. Alright, so now look for... Oh. It's reading as 0. Zero. It's zeroed out for a lot of these. Okay. Am I doing this wrong then? Am I using the wrong chunk? It looks like, looks like the chunk doesn't actually give the proper size. Okay. So maybe what we need to do, it looks like there's a header option. So let's come back in here. We can probably uncomment all this now. I'll leave this... No, I'll take it out. Alright, so... Alright, so... This big-ass while function, screw it. So, fseek mt mt file seek set. So what's this middle part for? Haha! This is our secret weapon. Header. Now we read a header earlier. Okay, where is that set? Oh, it's probably elsewhere. At any rate. Header. Every so often, it likes doing this. Alright. Go to definition. Alright, so... Oh. That's the problem. Alright. I'll catch you later then. So, okay, so since we know that that is actually available, let's head up here. Now we'll do a search here for KNCM. Followed by the size. Followed by a bunch of header data. So let's actually do this. mlick mclq offset equals %I and we'll just comment that out for a moment because we want to make sure that these actually do stuff. Yeah, the fact that it has an offset should have told me something. All right. MQ offset. Okay, there we go. So, looks like offset is always something. Alright, so we can actually get this, functional. Wow. I do want to know why we're not hitting it this way. Let's see, read string, size. If size equals 0, continue. That's the problem. Let's comment that out. So now we should find liquids. Or maybe we should just leave that as is. Let's, I'm going to take a look at this one. This one's in the middle of the freaking, ocean. There should be liquids all over the place. Although I'm not seeing those numbers change. And those numbers are staying virtually the same. And then we actually get to, these are probably the masks. So 9 times 9, so that means 81 after the first 2 floats. So there's a float and there's a float. So the min-max is... Okay, so there's the issue. The reason that we're having a problem is that the first thing that the program does is it reads the first 4 characters and it says that's the size. Then it reads the next 4 characters and says, okay, this is actual data. So these are the 2 big floats. After that comes, so this would be scale, or the size of the chunk. But you'll notice that's not what it is. If we come here, I don't know what that is, but that's 0. This actually has a size to it. I have no idea how to actually view data here. But what if this data, that's the first float, that's the second float, followed by, what was it? 9 by 9, so 81 floats. Followed by 8 by 8 of 1. So right there, selected 64. That's 8 by 8. I don't know what all this is, though. But even so... How many is that? That is 640. 640 divided by 4 bytes each equals 160. That's almost twice. So, yeah, their data is really bad. Okay, so this is interesting. Offset of liquid and size of liquid. Both of these are in the header. Why? Probably because this chunk data doesn't work. And I'm looking at the data, and frankly, I don't think the liquid chunk is what they say they say it is. All right, so I'm sure the newer chunk is much more accurate. All right, so high quality mesh. There we go. We got our data. Yes, reload. Size 0. Size 0. There. This is just a little faster. Well, I don't know about any of you, but I'm not spotting, a size greater than 0. Yeah. I did not see one. So uint 32, huh? Well, let's make sure that that's actually declared back up here. uint 32, yep. 8 when not used. Only read if greater than 8. Oh, no wonder we weren't getting any data. I just put size, and to hell with actually putting data in there. All right. Sometimes you just screw up like that. Okay. So, let's load up the document. Oh, that's quite a bit more. $812, huh? Okay, we got a fair number of 8s and a fair number of 812s. Okay. So, we have successfully found our data. So why is this not working? Probably because it reads the next 4 bytes as as this. Now this works for 95%. Actually, this works for basically everything except the liquids. So we're actually going to remove the liquids from right there. And we're going to do a special little bit down here. So if header dot liquid size is greater than 8, all right. Okay, so there we go. FC cassette. We have that down here. Let's delete that. And let's put fgetPause into fpause. Well, so there we go. There's that. So when we're done, we're actually going to seek fpause, just in case, things go a little wonky. Because we want it to be able to keep up with all the data. Alright, so now it should find something. And we're going to comment that out. So if water type is less than that, there we go. Oh, forgot to close the program. Alrighty, let's try this again. Do 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 do. Open. Hey, that's a new step. All right, subscript out of range. Let's see what the text has to say. M-chunk found. Cool. Setting water type to 0. Reading MQL chunk. Finished reading MQL chunk. Writing MQL points. Okay, so so it wrote the points. Oh. I might have to put this into something unique. Yeah. Rather than adding into the default of polygon point data, we're going to add a new one. Water point data. And we're going to do the same with polygons. Water polygon data. Okay. So the nice part is, no matter what system we use to get the water in, we can still use that to actually write the data. So that should solve this particular issue. All right. All right, so now writing water points. Actually, let's do an if. If water point data is greater than 0, chunk. Okay then. Okay then. There we go. Size. Water points. And the nice part, by just copying this stuff, these parts, I can basically just go, there, all done. And there, all done. Although I do need to change point data to water point data. And actually, I'm going to where's point count? Yeah, here's the water polys. Point ID equals new points. All right, so I had a feeling that was it. So we can actually go back to the way we were doing it. We just need to do a duplicate point ID. Water point ID. I'll do a capital W. Nah, it looks like it won't. Alright, so water point ID equals new 9 by 9. Am I right? I think so. No, that's 9 by 9 per each chunk. What is the maximum number for all of them? Well, there are 16 times 16, so that's 256. Let's double check that. Yeah, 256 times 9 times 9, 81. So 256 times 81. It's the maximum number of points we can have. And point count equals 0. Actually, no. We leave point count the same, because that has to be taken into account. Because water points are going to be the same no matter what we do. Actually, we might be able to get away with just using regular point. No, we need water points, and this is a brand new one, so we can do point count equals 0. We shouldn't have too many problems with that. Alright, so now we are down to water polys. And if the point data is big enough, then for the point. Water polygon data. The water is polygon data. Alright, so now we got that. I do like that we can just copy and paste a lot of this shit. And then we just have to change polygon data to water polygon data. Point ID to water point ID. Point 1 equals... Ooh. Oop. And then let's see. That actually builds the polygons. That's good. That gets the polygon ID. And this is going to tag it with our new surface water. Huzzah! So, if we've done this all correctly, and I'm pretty sure we have, it should build our data. Ah, Darnassus. 30-30. And... oh, it crashed. Oh, wrong button. Oh well. We can at least read the data. It's still crashing on reading points. Yeah. But that doesn't that also make it the easiest one to debug? Well, maybe not easiest, but... Alright, so writing points was the last one we had. We didn't even get down here. So... So did I screw up and do some water stuff in here? Alright, let's try this again. There is also the issue that Lightwave is pretty much just only available on Windows and Mac, and I'd rather not work on Mac. Alright, retry. No. Debug. Ah. Why are you having a problem? Chunk normal data. Size equals 150. 145. P equals 145. You can hold up to 256. Oh, this is... Okay, so let's do a quick search. Point data. Point data. Match whole word. There we go. Here's a bunch of point data. Correcting the point data. Point data push back. Ah. Here's the problem. Water point data push back. Any other water data I need to change? Nope. Doesn't look like it. Yes, I want to stop debugging. Close. There we go. You want to hear the thing that makes me feel old? Back in the day in 1998, that's when I graduated high school. I was working on Lightwave on Amiga back then. That's because my school wasn't willing to spend for a modern day computer. Well, not one that had Lightwave on it. Well, you're not terribly older than me, and whoa! What the hell has happened? Okay. Let's go 0 out. Shrink down a bit. Well, there's landscape over there. Okay, let's zoom in on the camera. If we focus on this, I think the scale is a bit off. Okay, well at least it's loading in the data. You were in college in 1998, but you're turning 33 this year. Did you go to college at a very young age? Because I was 18 in 98. Alright, let's get rid of all that. Ah. Okay then. Well, that changes things. Alright, let's see how this does. Well, that's better. But that's still reading 20 kilometers. It's almost like I need to take height and then min-max to, or somehow scale it down to the range that I need. Okay. Writing water polygons. Yeah, that makes more sense. If in America, you probably would have been a sophomore in high school. Well, at least in 98. I was a senior. Okay, so that is definitely screwy. And I have no idea why it's starting out at 0. But at least it actually reads the data. Be nice if it, wrote polygons, but actually, let's make it write polygons. Alright, so what was the... Yeah, this is what we were copying. So let's come down here. See, we only need 4. instead of the 5, because, well, actually, no, we only need 3. So poly, we need polygon data. So poly want a cracker. Oh wow, this is 9 by 9. Interesting. So polygon count is probably something we'll need. First polygon. Let's grab all this. What's all this? What's all this? All right, so first ID would be okay, that's just height values. You know, just to be safe, let's multiply that by unit size. Maybe that's why it's so gosh darn tall. That's really up to you. I mean, theoretically, you could make them into any scale. I could, make a character the size of this thumb drive, but, in the programming, I scale him up. On the other hand, I can make a, so, in the editor, that guy would be this tall, but, I could also have a building that he can walk up all around in, being the size of this can. At least in the modeler. But in the, engine, I scale that up massively too, or conversely, I make him this size, I make a can of soda this size, and then just scale it down in the editor. They're both possibilities. Scale does not matter. It's when you're modeling things, scale does not matter. The only thing you have to worry about is distance culling. That's the big worry. And culling, streaming, all that jazz. All that jazz. All right, so vert equals 0. So these are the verts, and then so at some point these get pushed back, huh? Let's put those back there. Poly amount is the poly count for your models is going to be a bigger factor than the scale of the model itself. It doesn't matter if your scale is what I was showing you earlier or not. I mean you could take a model that's this scale in real life, blow it up to 50,000 times, and this thing's a monolith. But it still uses the same number of polygons. So unless you either give it a really nice displacement map and some nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Tessellation. This poly count's never going to change. But tessellation is where, and displacement is actually where you're going to be making your game look very good. I mean, I could... What's the best way to describe this? What do I have nearby that I can describe it with? Alright, I've got this box. Let's just say it's just a flat box like that. Just because it's a flat box doesn't mean I can't use displacement and tessellation to make it spherical, like this. It's all dependent on how much time, money, and resources you want to put into it. Polygon count-wise, this is a better thing to render. But, when people aren't going to take a box and then go, oh, well, that's a ball. No, they're going to see a box. So, very slowly, you want to increment it up until it is a ball. So, and the people who have stronger systems, they can have a really smooth ball and not have the box at all. But people who have crappier systems can have the box for the ball. It's all, again, it's completely dependent on what you do and what you make. Alright, I forget what I was doing. Oh yes, HP. I was looking at HP. HP equals a lot of height data. And the height data comes from where? I don't know. Here it is. Okay, so it just reads the height data raw. It doesn't do any scaling. But with water, it looks like we do have to do scaling. Okay. And actually here, let's just copy this, because this is probably something we need to do too. Correct water point data. There we go. Now, the things you want to watch out for is draw call. Okay, I got one for this. I thought I had one. Alright. Alright, listen, you see this packet of gum? Let's say that there are, well, there's two parts to this, not counting the gum inside. There's a lid and a base. And you got the lid can animate and stuff. But, you put this all together, and it's got, well, it's two separate objects. So that's going to be two separate draw calls. But you look at this. This has at least two materials on it. You've got this, white inside ring, and you have the outside cover. If you make those as separate materials, that's another two draw calls. So you're already up to 3 for this guy. Again, not counting all the gum that's inside. So we got 3 draw calls just to make this show up. You can combine the textures, however, so that there's a material separation, but on the material side. Like in Unreal, you can do that. You can say, okay, this is this material, and then this is this material, and here's the mask, so you know which one is which. You do that, suddenly this goes from 3 draw calls to back down to 2. Because, you have one for the model and one for the material. Draw calls is where you get the problem. So over here, we've got another 1, 2, well, hey, look. Maybe 3 materials in here. Let's see. Well, we got the label, we've got the transparent, and then we got this. So that's, now that's 3 materials. And then the object itself, and let's assume that these are part of the same object. That's 4 draw calls total. But if you use the material masking, You might be able to get away with this one and this one being on the same material because, they share a lot of the same elements. But you're still going to be stuck with this being a completely different material because this one has transparency. You don't want to mix transparent and non-transparent materials. At least as far as I know, you shouldn't. So, just by putting the label on the transparency one and doing a material mask, well, theoretically, you could probably do all of it with a material mask. I wouldn't recommend it, but you probably could. Because you want to keep transparent and non-transparent separate. But that's already, 1, 2, and 3 draw calls for the thing. So we're down to 3 draw calls. Plus 2, that's 5 draw calls just for this one object. Now imagine 15 of them. Now 150. Now 1,500. That's a lot of draw calls. And that's where your CPU power goes away. That's where your GPU power is drained into. And that is what you want to reduce when you're trying to do something silly like an MMO. Because the last thing you want is 1,500 draw call. It's 1,500 times 5 draw calls. Yeah, I'll get that lid on better later. I hope that helps you figure things out. Oh, no, it's not the best choice. It's just a way of doing it. Reducing the types of material, not reducing the types of materials, but keeping them bunched together. So that, instead of having 5 different materials, you use one material that has 5 different sub-materials. That's probably the best way to describe it. And you know what? I should have done this wall big. So I hope that, Yeah, I'm trying to show things off here, and I realized that, no, I'm small in frame. So I'm starting to get hungry. All right, I forget where we were at. Oh, yes. The massiveness of that. So, let's see. I think we tried shrinking it down. Oh, yeah, we're going to do a correction here. Just for now, I'm going to comment all this out. Correcting water point data. We'll almost definitely need this later, but I'll look into that. Let's alright, so here's water point data, and here's other water point data up here. Alright, so we need to figure out how do we develop these. 17 times z minus 1 equals, ugh. Well, I don't know if that's going to help you in modeling. It's definitely what you need to do with in Unreal. How you get it into Unreal, I'm going to leave that up to you. Alright, let's copy this data, because this is probably what we want. And these can be an int 32. No, uint 32. XID1, XID2, XID3. So Z then X, okay. Well, that works out then. Okay, so why do I need poly count? I have no idea why I need poly count. I'm not seeing it used for anything other than comments. Alright, so let's come back up here. Yep. Second poly. Push back. Stand back. Dragon coming. What? Alright, so water point list. Ah, that's what I was missing, polygon data. Push back poly. I know, right? I have the same problem quite often, actually. I see somebody doing something awesome, and I'm like, damn it! No, I gotta do it. Alright. Hopefully that does what we want it to do. Oh. Stupid program, you're not supposed to be up. Well, one way or the other, I think this is where we're going to probably end things. Let's see how it worked, though. Let's start with 3030. That's our nice test bench. Oh, it crashed. Why did it crash? Ah. Point plus point offset. I'm doing pretty good facial hair. I'm actually getting really hungry, so I forgot to do that. Okay. Where do you end that? After the 4 polygon chunk. So, point offset equals water point offset. Let's end that. Start that. Yeah, there's always good stuff to, create. I mean, I got about, 2 or 3 games I would love to play, but, well, make rather. But if you need to reinstall it, take the time and reinstall. Okay then. No judgments. Yeah, Python would probably be a pretty good one to start. It is a little unusual, I'll say, but what people do with it is just fantastic sometimes. I mean, as near as I can tell, what is it? Blender is basically made with all Python. So, huzzah! Alright, so there's that, and here we are. So this is where point IDs come from. Got it. Oh. Remove the unused. Point datas. Water points. Alright, so Z is 0 through 9. Then X. Alright, I think just temporarily at least. Let's see, what is P? P is 0. So 0 equals point ID, point ID, point ID. Huh. I honestly don't know. My preferred programming software for Python, Notepad++. Not the greatest IED for it, but it's nice. It's simple. It doesn't say, oh, there's all this stuff to do for it. And, here, let me actually load up some Python. Do I actually have anything in my recent folder? No, I don't. Okay. Reload from disk. Open containing folder. But, yeah, if I was to actually set the language here to Python, it actually gives me quite a bit of stuff. Granted, there's nothing in here that's, Python-like, so. And there's LUAs and all sorts of stuff, but there's also tons of programs you can do for here. Let's see. Python indent's nice. Basically, it helps you indent in Python, because with Python, you don't have if-then-else's. Instead, you have if this, then, and then new line, and then you indent. And as long as you're at that indentation, that's part of the if statement. Well, actually, this way for you. In fact, let me just, get to the end of this log. It's going to be erased anyways, so ask. Yeah. So, if this equals true, Python wins. Or print Python wins. Print flawless victory. And that's one if statement. So that is basically Python. Actually, I can't remember. Oh, no, wait. I forgot something. There we go. That is a Python statement. I think there aren't any. Or is there? Nope. There, that's, I think that's it. May not need the var stuff. But yeah, that's basic Python. And Notepad++ is definitely a program you should have on your computer if you want to even think about coding. I actually think most people should be running it anyways, just for their everyday stuff. I use Visual Studio 2015 for C++ stuff, but any other, really any other thing that I code with, it goes in the Notepad. All right, so I don't know why the point ID for this is so large. Did I put them into the right things? Nope, you went 32. That's what it should be. One, two, three. 3, 4, 1. That makes no sense. Actually, no, that makes perfect sense. There we go. I don't think I need point list. I'm pretty certain that point list... Yeah, that's for removing unused points. So I can actually remove that from the water sector. Alright, so that should be better. Not great, but better. And let's double check that... Ah! Okay. Needs to be 1. I wonder why they want that. Why that's supposed to be 1 and not 0. Oh well. Stop. Close. Build. Build me an army worthy of Mordor. What? I said hi. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that is what you think it is. Crashed again. Alright. Create crash report. No. Debug. Break. Okay, I'm just going to temporarily disable writing the polys. We'll leave the points, but we're going to take out the polys. You guys want to stop debugging. I want at least one more successful import before I stop for the night. I wouldn't call that a success, but it's better. Alright, let's take this in the modeler. Let's see what the points actually are. Huh. That's a lot of points. Let's merge that down. That's still a lot of points. Okay. So I guess that's good enough for right now. We'll work on that later. Well, maybe it needs to be one of those things where we limit them to you know, the upper and lower limits. But I think that's enough for tonight. Definitely had a lot of fun. Definitely got a lot done. Actually, let's there. Definitely have a lot to go. But you know, the fact that we can get a lot of this stuff, you know, loaded is fantastic, honestly, to me. In fact, let's check something out. I want to find something that's... Ooh, Scarlet Monastery. Let's take a look at that. But while this is loading, and I think it might take a little bit of time, but not as much as Stormwind, I would like to say you can donate at the link down here. All donations go to help to improve the stream. They buy me new equipment. They buy me, new lights, which I actually need to do. Let's see. It buys me a lot of stuff, actually. None of it is not for the stream, though. I'm mainly looking at... it buys me games. So the games that I play here, Ooh. Let's check this out. Stormwind Monastery. Well, not quite. Scarlet Monastery. That's it. So this looks familiar. Back when it was, pretty nasty place. Doors and all sorts of stuff. They really simplified the game, and I really don't like it. But... Alright, so here's an instance where actually we need to figure out how to tell it to do alpha channels. And I think there are flags, but these little things, the spires, you can see that they're just being masked off to gray, which is their default color, rather than being, masked. So telling it to do that is something we got to do. But fortunately, and you can also see something similar going on with the fence over here in the middle. When we get closer to that, and that's just a great big mess. So that's all stuff we're going to have to figure out and have it learn how to do. So yeah, let's see. Let's turn on some lighting options that you never get to see in game. There you go. A little bit of radiosity. And the whole goal of this is being able to just import these right away and be getting, save them as their own separate objects, fix any problems, and then just move on. It's, really quick kind of stuff. Make improvements as needed, but just being able to get it to this point is a huge, thing over existing technologies. And once I get this to a state that I'm happy with, I will be releasing the plugin. So anybody who wants the plugin will be able to get it once I finish. Let's see. Yep, once again, donate. It helps. You can also donate on Patreon. Lots of options there. You get some rewards. As soon as we start getting some Patreons, I'll actually start handing out the rewards. As always, you can watch me on any of the links over here. You can follow me on Twitter right here. I'm getting better at this. Follow me on Twitter, lets you know what we're doing, when we're going to do it. I'll also let you know if we're not going to stream. That's important sometimes. I would like to mention that on Patreon, it's not up there yet, but if you donate $250 at least once, you will force me to completely shave my beard. So, no beard, no mustache. Completely freaking baby-faced. I don't want to do that, but I want you to try. Make me try. Also, on Patreon, you can actually force me to play a game for $100. The reason I'm doing that is because, there are so many games I want to play, so many games I, should be playing. If people pay me $100, then I'm like, okay, not only could I afford the game, assuming it's $60, but that gives me a little left over to say, okay, I really kind of owe this guy. So it pays for the game, assuming I don't have it, and it makes me feel guilty. All right, that's about it for tonight. I'd like to thank everybody who came by. Facial Hair, he came by. Console Purgatory, Pink Hair 3D, Let's see. I think. Let's see. Who else can? Oh, Gravity Dancing. Thank you for stopping by. Omarchi Hob 98. You stopped by for a moment. You said something on chat, so thank you. I think that was it. Oh, 18 Wheelers. I am so sorry I missed you. But I do hope you come by again. I think that's about it. All right. I will see you all tomorrow, 10 p.m. Pacific time. Oh, I should be mentioning, on Twitter, I'm actually starting to post the announcement a full hour or so ahead of time. So, there's that. So yeah, if you've been following me on Twitter, instead of getting it about 15 to 10 minutes ahead of time, you're going to get it anywhere from like about an hour to 45 minutes. Today was 45 minutes. I'm hoping to make it an hour going forward. So you'll have at least an hour's notice. All right. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.